Hi, I'm Jill, and today I'm going to answer a question that a student asked me. She said she was confused about particular words in English. So let's take a look at what those words are and how we use them. He is the lifeguard who saves people in trouble in the water. These are information signs which tell you about the history and culture of Cairns. So this is one of the exercise machines that you can use to do pull-ups. This is the lagoon where people can swim. So what are relative pronouns? Let's start at the beginning. A simple English sentence has a subject, a verb, and an object. So two examples: Jill is a teacher. Subject, verb, object. Jill likes chocolate. Subject, verb, object. Now, in these two sentences, which words are nouns? A noun is a person or a thing. Okay, so our nouns are underlined in red. Remember, a noun is a person or a thing. Jill, a teacher, Jill again, and chocolate. So a pronoun replaces a noun. So you can take the noun out and put in a pronoun. So for example here, we've said Jill is a teacher, Jill likes chocolate. So rather than repeat Jill, Jill, we might change this to a pronoun, she. So Jill is a teacher, she likes chocolate. So a pronoun is simply a replacement for a noun. Okay, so now we know what a pronoun is, the pronoun part of the relative pronoun. A pronoun replaces a noun. Now let's look at part 2. If we wanted to join these two sentences together, how would we do it? You're right. We'd use a conjunction, a joining word. Let's take a look. So a conjunction joins two sentences together. So here we've taken out the full stop at the end of the first sentence and we've replaced it with our conjunction and. So now we just have one sentence. Jill is a teacher and she likes chocolate. Okay, so I know you're asking now, how does this help me with relative pronouns? Well, a relative pronoun is a very smart pronoun because it can multitask. A relative pronoun has two jobs. Not only does it replace a noun, but it also joins two sentences together. So here you can see our smart, multitasking relative pronoun in the middle of our two sentences. Jill is a teacher who likes chocolate. Who has replaced both Jill and the full stop with just one word. Tough, hey? So this is our relative pronoun. So a relative pronoun replaces a noun and joins two sentences together. Let's take a look at some different relative pronouns and when we use each one. The lagoon. Up there is the lifeguard. He saves people in trouble in the water. So he is the lifeguard who saves people in trouble in the water. These are information signs. They tell you about the history and culture of Cairns. These are information signs which tell you about the history and culture of Cairns. So this is one of the exercise machines. You can use it to do pull-ups. So this is one of the exercise machines that you can use to do pull-ups. This is the lagoon. People can swim here. This is the lagoon where people can swim. All right, so these are the 4 sentences that you just heard down at the Cairns Esplanade using 4 different relative pronouns. So let's look at each one. The first sentence is who. We use who because we're giving more information about a person. Our person here is the lifeguard. So he is the lifeguard who saves people in trouble in the water. Our next 2 sentences were giving more information about objects or things. The first one we were talking about information signs. It's a thing or an object. And the second one we're talking about exercise machines, things, objects. So these are the information signs which tell you about the history and culture of Cairns. And this is one of the exercise machines that you can use to do pull-ups. Finally, we have where. We use where when we're giving more information about a place. So this sentence we were talking about the lagoon, which is a place. So this is the lagoon where people can swim. So 4 different relative pronouns and how we use them. All right, so we looked at 4 relative pronouns, who, which, that, and where. I have just one more to tell you about, and that is whose. Whose we use when it shows possession. So I have 2 examples here. Mickey is a mouse. His shorts are red. So we're giving more information about Mickey Mouse, but the information we're giving is about something that belongs to him. So his shorts, so we need to use the possessive pronoun. Mickey is a mouse whose shorts are red. Second example, Jill is an English teacher. Everyone wants to subscribe to her YouTube channel. We're giving more information about Jill the English teacher, this time about her YouTube channel, so something that belongs to her. So again, we have to use the possessive pronoun. So Jill is an English teacher whose YouTube channel everyone wants to subscribe to. So if the pronoun you're replacing is his or her, we use whose. Okay, let's look at some examples and see if you can work out which relative pronoun to use for each one. So let's just recap before we start our relative pronouns and when we use each one. Who we use for people. That or which we use for things or objects. Where we use for places. And whose we use for possession. Just to let you know that sometimes we do use that for people. So it is possible to also use that for people. But I think it's easier if you just remember who is for people. Number 1. Do you know the student? Picture was in the newspaper. And the answer is, do you know the student whose picture was in the newspaper? Whose, because the picture belongs to the student. It's his or her picture. Number 2, the winner is the person runs the fastest. And the answer is, the winner is the person who runs the fastest. Who, because we're talking about a person. Number 3, England is the country Jill was born. And the answer is, England is the country where Jill was born. We use where because we're talking about a place. Number 4, the wallet I found on the beach is empty. And the answer is the wallet that or which I found on the beach is empty. Number 5, English is the language Jill teaches. And the answer is English is the language that or which Jill teaches. That or which because language is an object or a thing. Number 6, I think people live in Cairns are very lucky. And the answer is I think people who live in Cairns are very lucky. Who because we're talking about people. Number 7, New Zealand is the country bungee jumping started. And the answer is New Zealand is the country where bungee jumping started. Where because we're talking about a place, a country. And finally, number 8, the student question I am answering is from Japan. And the answer is the student whose question I'm answering is from Japan. Whose because the question belongs to the student, his or her question. Hopefully you got all of those right, and now you have an idea of when to use our relative pronouns. Who for people, that and which for things and objects, where for places, and whose for possessions. Finally, I just wanted to say thank you to Hazuki. Hazuki is the student who asked this question about relative pronouns. I hope this helped you, Hazuki. I hope you enjoyed this video and that now you understand a little bit more about relative pronouns. Don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel for lots more English videos, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for lots of motivation and inspiration. Thanks for watching.